Oh, who's a minute late? It's me. Really, I'm 31 minutes late because 6:30 is the aim. 7 o'clock was what I was able to schedule today's live for, and it is now 7:02. But we're 20 seconds in, and it was 7:01 when I clicked go live. So we are indeed somewhat close to on time. We are 1 minute late, according to what anybody actually knows. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Inner Storyteller. Welcome back to your real life. It is a pleasure hosting this show with you. If you are here, then you are in for some real conversations. We talk about everything on this channel. We talk about natural law, religion, the good, the bad, and the ugly of religion. We talk about money. We talk about anarchy, culture, and how mankind is manipulated by people, forces, orders that do not have our best interests at heart, and how those um, and we talk about how the stories that we have the most faith in affect us psychologically, and how those stories help shape society. Now, that all of that examination has to sit alongside an honest look at the current human condition, which is slavery. And to understand that the current human condition is slavery, you have to thoroughly understand that government is slavery. Government in all forms, at all times, past, present, and future, is slavery. And the question that we have to keep coming back to is what can actually be improved with a proper understanding of the inner storyteller and how it works. And today we're talking police brutality. Specifically, police brutality is the policy, and that's by design. And feel free to hop in the comments and prove me wrong. But just know, I don't think I'm wrong. um, every single day for 4 hours, maybe 3 hours a day, one could go over case by case, instance by instance, body cam drop by body cam. When the body cam footage is released, body cam release after body cam release, cell phone footage after cell phone footage. You would never run out of content if you dedicated an entire YouTube channel to exploring the ills of police brutality. And you could only focus on America. You really could only focus on, let's say, three major cities. You can focus on three major cities, and you can pick your major city. Right? I'm not saying it can be cities like Chicago, New York, L.A. Right? Obviously, but it could be. I mean, any you pick a city: Portland, Wilmington, Delaware, um, Panguitch, Utah, right? Just just pick a city, pick three of them, and you will never run out of content. Pick a major city. You will never run out of content if all you're talking about on your channel is cases of police brutality, which is astonishing and tragic and unfortunate and bad at as bad as it is somewhat surprising. You know, my argument here is that police brutality, okay, the excessive force and the habit of malpractice or misconduct is the actual policy. That's my argument here. That the policy is not protecting or serving anyone, that the policy is not upholding the rights that are supposedly protect the rights of the civilians that are supposedly protected by the Constitution, or given by God, if you will. But my argument is that the policy itself is police brutality. Now, what I'm not going to do is be super boring. Okay, we are not going to read the policies of various police precincts and departments. No, we are going to take a look at videos and react to them. Okay, and I have far too many for you, and some of them, like a couple of them, are going to be from the same channel, so you'll see the same host. Um, Specifically, I'm talking about the Delete Laws channel. Delete Laws goes live almost as much as I do, or whatever, and he's been podcasting for a lot longer than I have. But his whole channel is dedicated to instances of um police misconduct, I'll say, because it's not always brutality. Sometimes, or excuse me, it's not always what the court would designate police as police brutality. But it is his whole channel all day, every time he goes live, is cases like the ones we are going to view today. This will not be easy to look at content. This will not be um, very palatable for the personalities and minds out there that are a little averse to conflict. Okay, but this is going to open some eyes as to what happens out there in the wide world of policing. Now, the first video that I want to take a look at does the reverse of what many people would assume a black man. Oh, wait a minute, hold up, I forgot one thing that I promised a great friend of mine. I said at the top of the show, I would say what she said to me. So she said, just make sure the people out there know that black men are not abandoned by black women. That there is a black woman out there that has not abandoned us, that loves me, that loves other black men, you out there, and that we are not abandoned. And I said I would say it at the top of the show. So I'm saying it now, 7 minutes and 40 seconds in. We have officially arrived. Okay. Now, this first video that I want to shows someone who, now this video right here is kind of standalone because it's not in direct support of my argument, but it does display what I'm talking about in a very real way, and in a way that you can imagine that there's not a lot of safeguards against this because of the trust factor, right? There's a lot of trust that people will do the right thing, even though the world is essentially worshiping money as a god, that people will have morals and do the right thing before that changes. So this is the first video. Let's just watch it first, and then talk about it in a sec.
Excuse me, I'm working.
The logs say otherwise. A mother tried calling 3 times. You hung up 3 times.
I just didn't feel like working.
Stand up right now.
I didn't feel like working that day. That was Crenshonda Latrice Williams, 23 years old, 18 months on the job as a 911 dispatcher for Harris County, Texas. And in that moment,
Harris County is Houston.
Sitting at her console on the 5th floor of the Emergency Communications Center on Travis Street in downtown Houston, she had just admitted to failing a family in the worst way imaginable.
Crenshonda Williams was charged April 19th for repeatedly interfering with thousands of 911 emergency calls. Court documents state.
How many? Was it tens? Was it dozens? Was it hundreds? No, thousands. Thousands. Keep in mind, she intercepted and performed misconduct for thousands of dispatch calls.
that every 911 dispatch call that lasts less than 20 seconds is reviewed. In many instances, Williams hung up while the caller was mid-sentence. Dispatchers are recorded even after a call is disconnected. In one instance, after disconnecting a call, Williams was heard saying, "Ain't nobody got time for this. For real." Williams was sentenced to 10 days in jail following 18 months of probation.
Excuse me, I'm working.
The mother that called 3 times had a very bad emergency, and I don't know if someone died, but someone was badly like messed up. There may have been death involved. But as you can see, baked into at least this department, if not other departments, one my daughter is like going bananas, very close to the door. I hope you guys can't hear that. If you can, please forgive me. Anyway, but it is very distracting. So I'm going to go and be a dad for like 2 seconds. In the meantime, I'm going to put this video on so that you can see what we're going to talk about next. And I'll just say, as to that other video, we can see that it's possible for misconduct to occur even at the level of you're calling for an emergency. Okay? Thousands of calls. And she would cut people off right before the 20-second mark because she didn't want the call to be reviewed. So she would say to herself, "Well, I don't really feel like working right now." And she'd hang up the phone instead of connecting someone to the right person or whatever for thousands of calls. You know what I'm saying? We don't know how many of those thousands of calls were serious emergencies that she ended up making their situation worse by doing what she ended up doing. But 1 second, I'm going to go ahead and play this video and then turn my camera off for just a second so I can go be a dad, and then I'll be right back.
Guys at a car wash, he gave a cigarette to another guy who he knows that he's friends with. And this is the response by the cops.
What'd that guy hand you?
He handed me a cigarette. Talking about my buddy Ronnie?
Cadillac?
Yeah, I work with him.
Okay, well, the issue I got is there's no off-duty he was watching.
The deal I got is that an off-duty was watching you.
All right, man.
Dude, all he handed me was a cigarette.
So you're telling me the off-duty, what he saw was bull?
Yes.
There's no victim, there's no crime. I don't care what they're handing each other. I don't give a f. Leave people alone. Get out of our fucking business.
The off-duty sees you, right?
I don't care what the off-duty said he saw.
Talk to you.
No, you're gonna leave me
I'm talking
alone.
to you because I got enough PC. I've already talked to an off-duty. I want your information before we leave.
For what?
So one cop saw him hand something to somebody else. The black guy handed him a cigarette. He didn't know what that handoff was, so that's probable cause. And that's why you hear this dirty pig say, "I got enough probable cause right here," because he said he saw you hand something.
Don't get in that truck. Okay.
Oh, you're jammed up now, man. Yeah, you are.
Hey, step out of that truck. Get your hands up, too. Next thing is getting tased, dude.
For what, bro? You're gonna taste me?
Step out of the vehicle now.
For what?
Get out of the damn vehicle.
You're violating my rights.
Get out of the vehicle now.
For what, bro?
Get out of the vehicle now.
Why?
You have to let the cops have total dominion over your every move you make.
I'm not doing anything.
Get out.
Stop. Dude, what the f***? I ain't doing anything. All right, give it up. Give it up.
Now they got a whole gang. There's a whole gang of people to attack him. What are they doing?
Give it up. Give it up. Give it up. What the
Look at them beating him up.
What the f*** doing this for? Why are you guys doing this?
Online court records from St. Clair County show he was charged with 3 felony counts of assaulting, battering, resisting, obstructing a police officer,
He was charged with battering a police officer because he got in his own truck.
as well as 1 felony count of possession of meth, ecstasy, all which remain pending. Videos posted to his channel, 3 which run more than an hour, show the cops finding no drugs on him or in his truck, expressing frustration at not finding anything. But after
So how, if there's body cam footage that shows, quote, no drugs in the truck, and they are literally searching the truck for an hour, how is he charged with drug charges, the possession charges? How did that come about? Well, obviously, somebody planted something at some point, and the only people that had access to this man's truck after he was put in torture cuffs and put in the back of the torture vehicle were, I'm going to be nice, the police. Okay? I want to call them a lot of names, but I'm trying to be nice in 2026. And I'm also trying to really understand and live by the knowledge that these people are adherents to a demonic religion called the religion of man's authority, right? And the religion of monetary value. And these religions do things to people that otherwise, they may have chosen to be decent people. But obviously, if you choose to join an organization that operates on, basically thrives on violence, intimidation, and coercion, then you're signing up to be trained and to embrace an environment of violence. What did I say? Violence, what, and coercion? Uh, the three things that they thrive on that I just said. I forget the second one. I don't know why violence and coercion are at the top of my head. But you're basically, as soon as you sign up for that occupation, you're signing up to embrace that environment, right? Just like we read in a slide from a Mark Passio presentation the other, what was it, Friday with Aaron, when Aaron was here in the studio. There is no such thing as a good cop, and it's very simple as to why. Right? First, you have to understand that every cop in existence, pretty much since cops existed, especially in the United States, but every cop agrees by contract and by conscious decision to both obey and enforce the law, all of them. And when you agree to obey and enforce all laws, regardless of the moral weight of the laws, right? If there are laws, we know there are laws on the books that are completely unjust. I mean, just look at mandatory minimum sentencing. Just look at the fact that you're not allowed to have fruit trees, or a city is not, individuals are not allowed to plant and care for fruit trees in the that are public, right? That are in the public, right? You have to have like a permit and a, a defined community garden or whatever to do anything remotely with food. But we can't have cities full of fruit trees where the fruit falls down, right? And some sort of volunteer cleaning apparatus around that practice. No, we have to not only that, we have to make it illegal to have fruit trees in your front lawn. We have to make it illegal to sleep outside. We have to make it illegal to anything natural, right? There are dozens and dozens, if not thousands, of laws that are completely unjust on their face without any legal, mental gymnastics for definitions of words needing to be done for the laws to be understood as unjust on their face. And every cop, as soon as they sign the contract, get their uniform, get excited, and go out and start bullying people, agrees to enforce all of the laws. That doesn't mean they memorize them. Obviously, most cops don't know the first thing about the law. But they do agree to enforce all of them. And then the way that they enforce them is they just follow orders from the top down. And that's what gives them, the ones that they memorize and the ones that they look at, like the violations that they look for when they're on patrol, et cetera, come from their training being in the field, as well as their training, their sort of book training or training that goes on at the departments or at training facilities, what have you, weapons training, all of that. So if you agree to embrace an environment of violence and coercion and injustice, if you will. I'm really trying to remember that second thing that I said. I'm gonna watch the replay and be like, oh yeah. Um, if you agree, if you consciously choose to embrace that environment, and then on top of that, you agree by contract to enforce all laws, including unjust laws, and you enforce those laws with violence and coercion and injustice, you are in a cult, and you need to quit that cult. Right? What is a cult? A cult is a group of people that have a shared religious worldview and ideology and philosophy that is dangerous, especially to those who are not its members. That's a cult. Right? The ideas and ideology is dangerous in and of itself, but especially to those who are not its members. The idea that you are going to enforce a law that says, if I establish probable cause in my own mind for anything, then it is the civilian's obligation, and this is written into codes in various counties and regions of the United States. If I establish probable cause and want to pursue an investigation of some kind, then the civilian that I'm investigating has to give me complete dominion over their body, over their ability to speak, over their ability to contact other people with, their devices, um, their ability to have their hands in front of their body or whatever. I have to have I gain absolute dominion over them for the next however many long hours. Then you are, like I said, if that's one of the laws that you're enforcing, one of the doctrines, if you will, that you're enforcing, and all of your buddies are willing to help you enforce it, right? You see that he gets in the truck, and then the buddy comes up and says, "Oh, you're in a pickle now," and he's like, "Well, for what?" And the other guy comes up and he's like, "Get out the truck." Well, for what? Why? Nobody can offer an explanation that makes any sense. He was handed a cigarette, which is legal. You can give your buddy a cigarette at the car wash. He was not smoking it in the car wash. He had it in his hand when the on-duty cop showed up. Right? And as you saw, the escalation was, well, the issue is that we don't know what that is. So now we have to complete a search. We have to investigate whether you were handed anything else. And he, of course, refuses to hand over any identification, to give consent to search his property or anything like that. And immediately, the on-duty cop, man, it's very difficult not to call them names, but I'm getting better. On-duty cop starts screaming about, well, I have probable cause. I have probable cause. I have probable cause. Don't get in that truck. Don't you get in that truck, right? Don't you get in an enclosed space where I can't come and um, activate my complete dominion over your body easily, because that's going to make me really mad. That's going to make me and my buddies come and pursue you as if you just murdered somebody. Right? He was handed a cigarette. An off-duty officer said he saw something suspicious, and that gave the on-duty officer who came there to run his investigation some sort of probable cause in his head, and he ends up locked up with charges like battery of an officer. When we saw in the video that the only actions he took that may have been considered that were holding his hands close to his own body, when they tried to grab his hand and lift it up so they could put it, behind his back or whatever, that he was holding his hands here and asking, why are you escalating this so far? I haven't done anything. I was handed a cigarette. That is a direct example of police brutality being written into policy. And there are many, 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 many other examples that we have of this same thing. Right? Let's does this one have music? Hold on, let me just make sure.
Your knees now. I haven't done anything wrong.
That one's a little too violent. Let me see. Did y'all hear that? I think that's too violent for YouTube. I'm not going to be able to show it, but
Your knees.
I'll show a wee bit of it. You can see this up here you can't see my mouse moving. Okay. Well, at the very top, right above dude's head, you can see the service weapon, as they call it. And this was 2025, by the way. You see, this guy is already bleeding. He has a cell phone in his right hand. He's practically naked. He's half naked, and he's not posing a threat. He has a smile on his face, and yet he's being pursued already by this person in this cultist in a uniform. That's a nice name, right? With their service weapon drawn already.
Now. I haven't
And
done anything.
all he did was move. You can see already. Oh, good. You can see my mouse now. That he's already squeezed. Okay, so I can't show any more. I'm gonna have to make my head bigger. Okay, and then we can go back to it. So a couple shots were just let out because he gently turned the barrel away from his physical body, saying, I haven't done anything, or something like that. He moved the barrel away from his physical body with a cell phone in his right hand. He's filming himself. He's filming the interaction, altercation, whatever, the contact, as they call it. And he has nothing in his left hand, and he's half naked with, you can see nothing in his waistband. He's bleeding already, and he's filming, and he was smiling at the cop. And this was the result. He moved the barrel away from pointing directly at his body, and was
Shots fired. Shots fired.
and was
You can't come at me like that.
September 23rd, 2025, Deputy First Class Timothy Poole, Poole, responded to the home of Daniel Birch, 50 years of age, The department had been called to the area several times that day regarding um, Birch and acts of criminal mischief, as well as a physical altercation, reported assault against his neighbor. This footage comes from Timothy Poole's body cam during the interaction. Birch, seen here shirtless with nothing in his hand save a cell phone, with which he was apparently recording the interaction, is for some reason ordered to his knees by Deputy Poole. Note that Birch is already bleeding, possibly from the altercation with his neighbor. While we don't have evidence of what led to this moment, Poole's weapon was already drawn in the body cam footage, a circumstance that is hard to justify against an unarmed filming suspect. Poole closes in on Birch, threatening him with the weapon. Birch maintains his innocence and swats the officer's gun in an attempt to redirect it. And I wouldn't even use the word swat. Right? Oh, well, hopefully y'all heard it. He's on the floor. Here, I'll bring it back up. He's on the floor asking why did you do that?
Stand up so I can help you.
Stand up so I can help you. This guy just let off 4 shots into this man's body in the front. Of course, his nerves, hormones, brain, everything in him is screaming, I need to be in the fetal position right now. Because he just got shot 3 or 4 times in the front of his body. And the cop is like, oh, come on, get up. Get up so I can help you.
Why you do that to me?
Right? And he's delirious because he's dying. His voice might sound a little...
Sit up on your knee.
Oh, almost saw the shots. Can't show the shots on YouTube. It's so disgusting, right? It's so incredibly disgusting. These people in this cult using their perceived authority, and of course I mean perceived by themselves, to conduct themselves in such a way that perpetuates the idea that they have a divine right to enforce the government's rule over the peers of those who work in government, and the divine obligation, the supposed divine obligation for the civilians to obey them. There is absolutely no true obligation for any one of us to obey government, and there is never, ever going to be a true divine right to rule over your peers given by any god whatsoever. Okay? Nature would not have it be like that. And well, like I said in the opening, government is slavery. When you understand that government is slavery, you can more readily understand why policy works the way that it does. Okay? You can understand why the response to an assertion of one's own freedom is immediate violent escalation by those who are members of the cult of ultimate evil, which is the police and or military. And I'd say especially the police. But no, both. Both. I don't put in especially, actually. I take it back. The point of all of this is not to say, we should take up arms against the cult of ultimate evil or anything like that. It's not to say that anybody who supports anyone who considers themselves to be in law enforcement or anybody that has anything good to say about police or military um, is evil in their heart, right? That's not what this is about. This is about exposing the fact that there is something wrong at the structural level, right? And we often get into, especially in my scripted videos, the psychology behind these cults and these cult movements. Okay, like, you know, the thin blue line, the support our troops propaganda, um, the protect and serve, slogan like propaganda. All of these, word salads and image propaganda creations serve to perpetuate the idea that government is your friend, that government is your loving father, when in fact it's your drunk, abusive uncle, if that makes any sense as an analogy. And the armed enforcement apparatus, the armed so-called law enforcement apparatus, are following orders and policy, procedure, and protocol. And the policy, procedure, and protocol that they implement, that they employ in their line of duty, if you will, results in violent act after violent act after violent act after violent act. Right? And it doesn't even end when someone is held accountable. I'm gonna put that in big quotation marks. Check this one out. So, San Antonio cop fired for feeding a homeless man a feces-filled sandwich. He pooped in a sandwich and he gave it to a homeless guy as if it was a real, as if it was food that the homeless guy could get sustenance from. And smearing feces in the women's restroom. This is a real shithead. And he was fired from a second department after backlash, and now he's been made police chief at another department. The city secretary hung up on reporters. Right, the city secretary hung up on reporters trying to create their story or get information for their story, and the city called it a second chance. Well, Benavides Police Department in Benavides, Texas, they are taking in this San Antonio shithead as their police chief to give him a second chance. The policy, protocol, and procedure of this cult is structured in such a way that repeat offenders, that our protection, our supposed protection, is given free reign to not only violate the laws that they say they, promise to enforce, right? But also to abuse the civilians that that enforcing the law is supposed to protect at a structural level. There is infinite means and infinite avenues for corruption, coercion, right? And just the lowest of human, interaction, the lowest of psychological state, the lowest of mindset and worldview to fester and grow. And unfortunately, nothing is going to stop this from being the case unless and until a vast majority of not just Americans, but a vast majority of the regular people of the entire earth wake up to the fact that government is slavery and that the religion of monetary value is nothing but a religion that the world does not have to subscribe to in order for technological progress to continue. With all that being said, you already know the question that we have to come back to on this channel is always some form of what stories are you willing to live? Because if the story that you're living right now is that police are necessary to keep order and the military is necessary to protect that order, then you are running a story completely and hopefully not irreversibly, but right now seemingly irreversibly in alignment with the religion of monetary value and the religion of man's authority that causes the brutality to happen at the root. So what story are you willing to live? Are you willing to live a story of helping people wake up to the truth, or are you willing to live a story that basically says, well, until it's at my front door, I have nothing to say, because if I say anything, then that's going to bring them to my front door immediately. You decide. I have no judgment either way. Let me know in the comments. Try to prove me wrong. and I'll see you guys tomorrow with Sarah Cross, who will be in the building. You know what I'm saying? I will see you guys tomorrow in the next episode. Peace, love, always, in all.